Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really well-known passage, Galatians 5:22-23, the fruit of the Spirit.
That famous list.
Right. And we're zeroing in on just one. Goodness.
Yeah, agathósuné in the Greek. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. They're all familiar, but goodness itself, it has a specific flavor here we need to unpack.
So our mission is to figure out what that is according to these sources and maybe how it's different from just being fair or just.
Exactly. Justice versus goodness. It's a key distinction.
Okay, so where do we start? The sources talk about the source of this fruit, the Spirit.
Right. The idea is, well, every believer has the Spirit inside them. That's a given.
But experiencing the fruit like goodness isn't automatic.
No, that's the point. It seems to require yielding, submission, actively wanting Christ's life reproduced in you. It's not passive.
Okay, yielding. So the power's there, but we have to cooperate, sort of.
That's a good way to put it. And Kenneth Weiss offers this great picture for the result of that yielding. He calls the Christian's life a prism.
A prism? How does that work?
Well, the Holy Spirit takes the white light of the beauty of Jesus Christ, his words, and shines it through the believer, the prism.
And it breaks it up.
Into the 9 colors, the 9 graces. Love, joy, peace, goodness. All of them reflecting Christ's character.
Ah, I like that. Because it implies they aren't just separate items on a checklist.
Exactly. It's an organic whole. The sources stress that. They all spring from, the same root.
So you can't really max out goodness if you're totally lacking in patience or kindness.
Doesn't seem like it. No, they're interconnected aspects of the one Spirit-filled life.
All right, so let's get specific about goodness, agathósuné. What are its characteristics? Tim Keller defines it simply as honesty, transparency being the same.
In one situation as another.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Consistency.
Wedgeworst.
Weiss calls it that quality in a man who is ruled by and aims at what is good. But there's more.
Okay.
The key thing seems to be that it's not just being good intrinsically. It's active. It's good as an action.
So generous deeds, righteous initiative?
Precisely. Toward others in need. And critically, the sources say it's a moral goodness found only through the indwelling Spirit. It's supernatural, not just human decency.
Okay, active initiative. But earlier you mentioned distinguishing it from justice. Doing the right thing often sounds like justice.
Right, and this is where William Barclay's point is so helpful. He says the Greeks saw justice as basically giving people what they deserve, what's due to them.
Fair's fair.
Pretty much. But agathósuné, goodness, isn't about calculation or what's earned. It wants to give someone more than their due.
More?
Yeah, everything that could possibly help or benefit them, regardless of whether they've, earned it or deserve it. It's proactive generosity.
That definitely sounds different. It's less about balancing scales and more about overflowing.
That's a great way to put it. And we see this overflow in the examples our sources give, like Barnabas.
Barnabas, Acts 4 and 9. He's called a good man, agathos.
Yes. And you see this agathósuné first in his generosity with money. Selling a field, a big asset, and just laying the cash at the apostles' feet.
For the community, for the poor. That's clear goodness in action.
Definitely. But maybe even more striking is what he did for Paul or Saul back then.
Right. When Paul first showed up in Jerusalem after his conversion, everyone was terrified of it.
Understandably, from a justice perspective, you could say, he persecuted us. He hasn't earned our trust.
Makes sense.
But Barnabas operates differently. He practices goodness. He goes out on a limb, takes Paul in, vouches for him, introduces him.
Even though Paul hadn't earned it and was still viewed with huge suspicion.
Exactly. That's goodness, stepping in, offering help and acceptance beyond what justice would demand. It took initiative and courage.
Okay, that clarifies the difference really well. Justice holds back, goodness reaches out.
And Dorcas, or Tabitha, in Acts 9, shows the same principle.
She was full of good works and acts of charity.
And notice how practical it was. Her goodness wasn't just a nice feeling. It meant making tunics and clothes for the widows who needed them. Tangible help.
So visiting the sick, caring for widows, giving to the poor, These specific selfless acts are the evidence of agathósuné.
Yes. It's goodness made visible, meeting real needs.
So wrapping this up then, the big takeaway for you listening is that real, genuine goodness isn't something we just decide to have.
Right. It comes from God, and it's reproduced in believers by the Holy Spirit. It's fundamentally supernatural.
And the sources even remind us, Mark 10.1, no one is good except God alone. We can't manufacture this on our own steam.
Absolutely.
Which leads to our final thought. If goodness is a fruit of the Spirit, not self-effort, what does that active cooperation or yielding we talked about actually look like day to day?
Yeah, how do you consciously make space for the Spirit to produce this kind of active, generous initiative in your life, especially when your first instinct might be to calculate what someone else deserves?
Something to think about.